John Blake presents The State of It, stories from the front line of a broken care system, written by Chris Wilde and read by Joe Dow. Included is an exclusive bonus track with author Chris Wilde and actor Neil Morrissey.
Hi, it's Neil Morrissey here. Thank you for choosing this audiobook. My mate Chris has written a brilliant and important book, one that needs to reach as many people as possible. It's so important to talk about these issues. So, Chris and I will continue the conversation at the end of this audiobook. I'm going to hand over to Joe now, but we'll be back with you afterwards.
To anyone who listens to this, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, and always remember that children in care are still children. Introduction. The State of It. I was taken into care after the sudden death of my father when I was 11, in 1992. Before that, our family life had been pretty ordinary, just me, Mum, Dad, and my sister Donna. My dad, Dave Cockcroft, was something of a local legend around Booth Town in Halifax where we lived. His dad had vanished as soon as he was born, and his mum died when he was a child, so he'd grown up in the care system and was pretty streetwise. But he was also well known for his fairness and generosity. A tough man with a kind heart. Around his family, he rarely spoke about his time living in care homes and with various foster placements. When he did, his words revealed little, but his eyes were filled with pain. I remember the first time he mentioned his children's home in front of me. I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, and in my wide-eyed innocence, I'd asked what it was, excitedly imagining scenes of fun and adventure, like in Swallows and Amazons. But Dad's response was abrupt and resolute. "It's a place you'll never, ever experience," he said. Unfortunately, life had a different plan. Dad caught chickenpox that developed into shingles, and that was what killed him, of all things. After his death, Dad's foster brother, Viv, crept into Mum's life. Widowed and left with 2 children at the age of 30, she needed someone to lean on. But everyone could see he was a vulture. Everyone except poor Mum, that was. Maybe she was so blinded by grief that she didn't notice him circling the scraps of the life that Dad had worked so hard to build. Somehow, within 6 months of Dad passing away, he'd moved into our family home, casting a shadow of violence over us all. If Mum so much as looked at him the wrong way or didn't have the tea on the table in time, he beat her black and blue. Then he started on me and Donna too. Once he'd physically broken Mum down, he picked away at her emotionally. He gaslit her and manipulated her for his own ends, even convincing her to sell her family home and move in with him. Once she was under his roof, the power was all his. I turned to the streets to escape my crumbling home. At the age of 11, drinking, fighting, taking drugs and stealing became my solace, and the streets of Halifax my playground. As much as Dad's name had been renowned around town, so too was mine, but for all the wrong reasons. If something went missing, a window was smashed or a bloody nose was doled out, I usually had something to do with it. I wore my reputation like a badge of honour. But after 12 months and 6 arrests, Mum couldn't cope with my behaviour, and a decision was made. I was to be sent to Skercoat Lodge Children's Home. When it was first suggested, Mum refused, knowing it was the last thing my dad would have wanted. But by then, Viv was a puppet master and pulled all the strings. Between him and my social worker, she eventually relented. Given my dad's warning tone about children's homes, I probably should have felt more scared as I approached the unwelcoming heavy doors of Skercoat Lodge and noted the thick glass windows with dents in the frames where people had tried to break in. Or out, maybe. But I didn't. I felt excited, not just because I was getting away from Viv, but because it all felt like a big adventure. The tall, broad man who had greeted me and shown me to my room, the boss man, as I called him, didn't seem scary at all, and I was going to be living away from home and with a roommate too. What fun we'd have. That illusion was quickly shattered when I met Callum. He was 14 years old but had the mental capacity of a 10-year-old and the personal hygiene of a tramp. While I wanted to talk about girls and drinking, all he was interested in was superheroes and comics. He's slow, people told me, not the full ticket. I quickly learned
Sample complete. Ready to continue?